you almost expected to look up and see some old man standing there, you know, like that you started to imagine, what would he have looked like? What kind of clothes did he, everything. Every time something else would come out of the ground, it was like, oh wow, it was cool. It's deep. I mean, it goes a long way. We were told their story didn't matter during the time, you know, and it does.
Oh yeah, entirely.
It's another
Homer glasses on the car.
Texas Department of Transportation was looking to widen the road of FM 455. Part of that involves environmental review and impact studies. And through that, there were initial surveys along the entire stretch of the road to document any impact that would be on historical or archaeological and environmental resources. And through the initial surveys, they identified the Tom Cook Blacksmith Shop.
The Tom Cook Blacksmith Shop is associated with an African-American freedman, and African-American history in Texas is undertold stories. It is history that was not documented well. We know he was enslaved. He most likely learned his blacksmithing skills while he was enslaved, and then he used those skills to his advantage to become a successful businessman, a landowner, owned his own blacksmith shop. He became a Methodist minister. He was also a Freemason. Tom Cook was a very important guy in his community, and it was a predominantly white community.
I'm a professor of anthropology at the University of Texas, and I do historical archaeology, mainly of the African diaspora. The connection with Bolivar actually came out of my established relationships with folks who work at Stantec. So I've known Doug Boyd, Alex Menaker for years now. If you think that it's important to share your knowledge with the public, the very least you can do is at least relate to the public, invite them out to see the site, show them what you're researching. But the kind of community outreach I think that we've been trying to do with this particular Bolivar project, you know, extends beyond that. It sees archaeologists as not the only people who are invested in the past.
So our work wasn't just to excavate and to identify the remains, but how can we collaborate together in sharing this history?
In planning this project, Stantec worked very closely with the Texas Department of Transportation, with the Archaeological Studies branch and the folks in the Cultural Resources Division. And we did that so that we could plan this very elaborate project that involves community outreach and the local community and stakeholders in Denton County. So one of the things that we found very quickly in doing this work is that Tom Cook's direct descendants were still living in Denton County. And so we reached out to them and brought them into the project and made them players in the project planning.
We started actually working the site, and it was addictive. Every time I saw something, I related it immediately to my great-great-grandpa or my family. This is another connection. When you start actually hearing names and a little bit of story about, a little bit of history about that name, or a little bit about that person, what they did, that's why I said it started getting emotional, because now it's like, that's where I come from. Now I got a story too.
My dad is a big family person. He is very proud of who he is and of where he came from. And just, I think, to know that his roots go like severely deep, like below the surface deep, I think that makes him feel very just good. He always preaches about like just being intentional, being proud of what you do, being strong in what you do, just always just holding your head up, doing what you gotta do. And I think that is being seen as you look at what's been achieved by the people in our family lineage. Like knowing that Tom Cook stood up for himself, knowing that he fought against oppression, he fought against the grain, got his own blacksmith shop, and then was able to provide for his family, and it wasn't a small family. It's really awesome to know that our tenacity and our perseverance and our go get it type of attitude wasn't just taught to us by our dad. It's been taught to him by his dad, who was taught to him by his dad.
If I can make you believe that everybody that looks like you, or if I just narrowed it down to your family, never did anything worthwhile, never amounted to anything, or always this, that, and the other, well, I got you.
I've worked for over 30 years very closely with the Texas Department of Transportation on a number of projects all over Texas. And TxDOT has a long track record of working very closely with stakeholders in the areas where they're doing road projects. So they don't just come in and build the road and then go off to the next road project. They reach out to the stakeholders, they get them involved in the project, and this process is an important part of road building.
It's been a really enriching process. It's also meaning that you're doing research that people on the ground are very supportive of because they're a part of it.
Texas Department of Transportation recognized the significance of this history.
We have an opportunity with this project to fill in the gaps in history and tell a part of African American history that has been largely overlooked.
I think it's important so that my kids, my grandkids, and other kids like mine and other folks like me know that we weren't just passive members riding along in history. We helped make it. We had something to do with it. And it wasn't because somebody allowed us to. We took our place too.